All the delegates are requested. Please come in the hall. Okay, sir. Now we are starting the session, panel discussion, strengthening seed system for distribution and access of millets for health, food security and farmers' prosperity. First of all, good afternoon to all of you. On the behalf of organizer, I welcome all of you for this session. First of all, I request co-chair of this session, Dr. B. Venkateswarlu, former Vice Chancellor of VNMK Parbhani, please come on the dais and occupy your seat. I also request Dr. S.A. Patil Saab, former Director, ICR, IRI, New Delhi. I also request Dr. Vilas Tonapi, former Director, ICR, IMR, Hyderabad. Please come on the dais. And panelists for these sessions are Dr. J.C. Rana, Dr. J.C. Rana, NPC Biodiversity International, New Delhi. Dr. Krishna Prasad, Director Sahaja Samruddhi, Bangalore. Dr. Suresh Kumar, Bayer Crop Sciences. Dr. D.P. Vaskar Sir, Director of Research, VNMK Parbhani. Convener, Sri Swaminathan, RRA Network, Hyderabad. Please come on the dais. Dr. J.C. Rana, sir, NPC Biodiversity International, New Delhi. Dr. D.P. Vaskar, sir, Director of Research, VNMK Parbhani. Dr. Sri Krishna Prasad, Director, Sahaja Samruddhi, Bangalore. Dr. Suresh Kumar, Bayer Crop Sciences. Dr. Shamla Oswal, Pahele India Foundation, he is online. She is online. And rapporteurs for the sessions are, yes, Dr. Zawle Ellen, Sorghum Specialist, and Dr. S.B. Pawar, myself. First of all, I request Dr. Vaskar Sir to welcome our co-chair, Dr. B. Venkateswarlu, former Vice Chancellor, VNMK Parbhani, by offering a shawl, bouquet and memento. Next, then I also request Dr. Vaskar Sir I also request Dr. Vaskar Sir to welcome Dr. S.A. Patil Sir, former Director, ICR, IRI, New Delhi, by offering a bouquet. I also request Dr. Vaskar Sir, Director of Research, to welcome Dr. Vilas Tonapi Sir, former Director, ICR, IMR, Hyderabad, by offering a bouquet, shawl and memento. I request Dr. Beg Sir to welcome our panelist, Dr. J.C. Rana Sir, by offering a bouquet. I also request Dr. Beg Sir to welcome Dr. Krishna Prasad, Dr. Sahaja Samruddhi, Bangalore. I also request Dr. Beg Sir to welcome Dr. Suresh Kumar, Bayer Crop Sciences. I also request Dr. Beg sir to welcome our Director of Research, D.P. Vaskar sir. I also request Dr. Beg sir to welcome Sri Swaminathan RRA Network Hyderabad. And on online, Sharmila Oswal Pahal Indian Foundation. Thank you, sir. Sir, there are two setting up the tones, two lectures. First is of Vilas Etonapi, Empowering the Millets, a Path Towards Health, Food Security and Prosperity. And second by Krishna Prasad, Mainstreaming Millets and Building Community Seed System. And before that, I take opportunity to it's my privilege to introduce our Dr. B. Venkateswar. He is born in AP in 1953. He is a PhD in microbiologist. He served in many positions in ICRISAT at an IRI and ICR at many positions. He was director of CRIDA, during which the NICRA project was initiated by the ICR. He served as the Vice Chancellor of VIDYAPEETH Parbhani and additional charge of KKV Dapoli. He is a Fellow of National Academy of Agricultural Sciences and Fellow of AP Academy of Sciences. It is my privilege to introduce sir. Welcome, sir. Then again, I welcome Dr. S.A. Patil, former Director ICR IR New Delhi, and co-chair Dr. Vilas Tonapi. And now I request chair to please proceed the function session. Thank you, sir.
My esteemed co-chairs, Dr. Patil, in fact, he should be chairing this. My only qualification is I was ex-vice chancellor of the Host Institute. I mean, I am really not doing much on seed science, but anyway, it's a pleasure coming back to this home, and I see all my colleagues here. And since morning, we had a very heavy dose of hard science, and this session looks to be more of a contribution from the CG system a bit, and then some NGOs and some private sector. So hope that we will have a different kind of experiences sharing from the colleagues from the private sector and the non-governmental sector. And again, on a very important issue like seed availability. You know, whatever we say, ultimately what matters is whether the farmer gets the seed at the right time in right quantities. That is what is, you know, important at the last. So that really depends on how efficiently we produce and distribute the seeds. And so I think this session that way I feel is very important, and we look forward to listening to the successful case studies and experiences from some of our colleagues outside the government system, and also one or two, I think, from the CG Biodiversity International from Dr. J.C. Rana. So as you know, you all have this program, and I was just informed that we have only two speakers from the panel. There are two, Dr. Rana and Dr. Suresh Kumar, and two speakers to set the tone. One is Dr. Tonapi, who is sitting next to me, and another one is Dr. Krishna Prasad, whom I know from Bangalore, who is working for the last many years on decentralized seed production by the non-governmental sector. Because just now Rajendra Prasad mentioned in the morning that many NGOs are actually struggling. They are promoting a lot of local seeds, local germplasm, which the farmers are actually selecting over years. But when they want to produce and share informally or formally along other farmers, the seed rules come in place as a hindrance. They say that the government says unless your seed is actually goes through the seed chain, get tested and notified, you will not be able to do it even as an FPE or FPC. So to overcome that, I think many NGOs are now making a lot of efforts, and some state governments like Karnataka, Orissa, they have come out with their own guidelines that how to really commercialize or promote, at least promote these seeds which are actually discovered by the farmers or which are identified by the farmers. so that, with less expense, the benefits of those seed also available to the farmers at large. So I think that kind of initiative we like to listen in this session. So I think without losing much time, sir, you want to say something or? Okay. So may I now invite Dr. Thonapi to share his insights on what is the roadmap for millets. Millets, now everybody is talking about millets. So what is he is the person who has actually directed this Millet International Year, beginning the Millet Excellence Center planning, everything he was involved, and now he's retired and he's actually in a private company, but nevertheless he's continued to associate with millets. Dr. Thonapi, please.
Yeah. Mr. Chairman, sir, and all the delegates, let me take next 18 minutes probably through the journey of millets, which we say it is a path towards health, food and nutrition security. In fact, the exercise in the last 10 years in mainstreaming the millets has been a kind of dynamics to work on food systems, which were hitherto part of our culture earlier, but the green revolution that pushed back these particular gains to the background really made an effort, a difficult one, in order to see that, to tell people what millets are to start with. Then the program of INSIMP, which started to really push through in 2010, the program on promotion of millets, was the edifice on which the millet movement was built from 2016 onwards. So let me just in the beginning, 9 millets basically cultivated world over, from pearl millet to sorghum to finger millet, foxtail, kodo, little, proso, barnyard, brown top, then 2 exotic millet, teff in Ethiopia and fonio in Western Africa in Niger. So these are part of diet systems in 131 countries of 59 crore people. So the onslaught of green revolution everywhere, these crops could survive and still have been the part of the dietary system. Just some passing slides, how diverse and great in terms of the diversity, whether it is the sorghum, the great millet we call them, then the pearl millet, the finger millet, because the kind of talk we make it around these crops, that makes it very interesting. If we don't talk, these crops are gone. If we talk more and really glorify the kind of health benefits they offer, then that's how they have come to the fore today. In the last 10 years, we say we know what millets are today. Then the barnyard millet, because many have not seen the crops. Even I did not see the entire 9 set of crops 10 years ago. So this is the scenario. Then the proso millet, foxtail, little millet, kodo millet in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, brown top millet, this is the one which has been added off late, which is the shade loving forage crop, but because of high dietary fiber and protein, this is sold at the rate of 400 rupees a kilo today. And teff from Ethiopia. Then CKA is another which was really, we tested them for very high protein, more than 13% in the tribal system in Madhya Pradesh. So there are many, 131 species of millets are in vogue and 9 are the major cultivated millets. Coming to the global scenario, about 717 lakh hectares of area and about 862 lakh tons of production from Africa to Asia to Europe and Australia and New Zealand. So we produce in India about 170 lakh tons, about 80% of Asia's and 20% of the global production. Global average yield is 1229 and India of course 1239 kg per hectare. This is the kind of scenario globally from 60s to 2021-22 if we take. Globally, millets have lost 20 million hectares of area. But the blue line what you can see, it is the decline in the area, but the green line what you see is the productivity increase. It is 250 times the productivity increase, which indicates the contribution of crop improvement, which has happened over a period of time, and the production stability. So the entire scenario, whether it was 90 million hectares or today's 70 million hectares, our production and productivity levels have increased. And globally, pearl millet, sorghum is the leader in terms of the millets, followed by pearl millet, proso millet, finger, teff, fonio. This presentation I will be leaving. I am not going into the details of these tables as it's available. In Indian scenario, before Green Revolution, of course, we had about 40 million hectares, 38 to 40 million hectares. And today we have about 16 million hectares. And at that time, we produced around 14 million tons. And today we produce from reduced area about 17 million tons today. So productivity increase of 2.5 times. And even though the area has declined by 20 million hectares. So they were contributing 20% to the food basket earlier, but today they contribute 7%. So this is the kind of decline in area what we have seen across crops. But the yields, then the productivity contributions in terms of crop improvement have helped to sustain the production, which we have seen from 60s to 2022. So across crops, I am not going into the details. The scenario is same. Whether it is sorghum, we lost 37% of area, but yield change is 31% in a positive way. Then in case of pearl millet, again, it is the Kharif and Rabi sorghum. Kharif we lost more area, in Rabi it is the less. Then in case of the pearl millet, again, we have lost about 4% of the area and 9% is the positive change in terms of yield. In terms of finger millet, again, it is the 6% positive change in terms of the yield. Then again, all the small millets put together, the yield change is 40%. So this is the kind of contribution in crop improvement we could see. This is the millet diversity map of India. You will find in every state one millet or the other. That's what is the kind of dietary diversity they offer, and also the nutrition security what we talk about, because each one of them have high dietary fiber, high protein, complex carbohydrates, and the host of positive amino acids, vitamins, and all other minerals put together. So this is the contribution of India. 100% we contribute to kodo, little, and barnyard, about 50% each in case of finger millet and pearl millet. And in sorghum, about 7% to the world contribution, foxtail millet and little proso millet about 1 to 2%. So this is the kind of stability we have seen from 2014 when the millet mission in India started. We were progressively losing the area, but a policy change, how it can affect the crop to be stable. This is one example how change in the direction, whether we had the pulse mission, whether we had the oilseed mission or a millet mission. The stability will be achieved when the policies would support, and that's how the entire gamut of activities of stability could be achieved between 2014 to 2023-24. This is the kind of change. We lost a lot of area, but the positivity in terms of production and productivity is the another scenario we are looking at. But how do we want to proceed further? From 40 million hectares, we produce the same amount of grain. From today, 14-15 million hectares also, we are producing the same amount of grain. So it means that our consumption demand was the same, whether it was 40 million hectares or whether it is 17 million hectares. But today's scenario shows that we are negatively skewed in terms of supply by 42%. If 100 is the demand, the supply is only 60. That's how the prices have been very, very high. So the government would like to add another 3.59 million hectares to the millets by 2030, so that we have another 10 million tons of millets. Looking at the climate change scenario that is also happening, also the sustainability and the diversification of agriculture. So that's how it would make about 20-25 million tons, including the global demand for the gluten-free grains that is happening because all millets are gluten-free. That's how the export potential also is being exploited. So this is the consumption trend. I said it has been the same, even though we lost the area. And the per capita availability, you could see it is declining, in the sense more people would like to have it, but there is not much grain available. So that is also one of the important aspects we need to be looking at. So the PMO wanted that what should be the strategy of the Indian government so that we make the millets to be contributed to the global scenario on the global platform. So policy paper or a position paper to the PMO was prepared, based on which it was really looked at it would be supporting the agenda of zero hunger, good health, decent work and economic growth, then the responsible consumption and production, climate action, then the partnership for the goals. So these were 7 mainstreaming themes. Production and productivity increase has to be happened. Farmer has to be handhold in this particular situation. Incentivizing cultivation has to happen. Nutrition and health benefits have to be conveyed to the people, why they should be diversifying their food plate. Value addition, processing and recipe development, because people forgot how to cook these millets. When Green Revolution came into picture, Indian government had a big program to teach people how to prepare chapatis. Even in Kerala or southern India, there was a government investment to teach people how to cook rotis there with the wheat. So now this is how the kind of mainstreaming it's all really looking at. Then the awareness creation, international outreach, then the policy interventions. So these were the 7 themes. So why millets today? In the sense, one is the kind of nutrition spectrum what we would see in these grains, the complex carbohydrates which release low sugar in your bloodstream, good for diabetics. So the lifestyle diseases are driving the demand for the millets basically. In the sense, people want diversity in their food. Wheat and rice we can't replace, and we should be complementing with these grains at least 30 to 40% of the millets in diet of everybody. That's what is the main goal of the government basically it is looking at. So some of the graphs, if you could see, the water requirement, the first graph here, 350 to 450 millimeters of water they complete this life cycle because the short duration. The second one is the right side graph indicates the investment in terms of agriculture, input usage, the mechanization part, all put together, the profitability would be higher, but we are comparing with other crops, that's where we are not seeing the profitability per se. This is happening because markets did not exist earlier, but today's efforts are creating markets, creating the value chains. That's where farmers are getting connected to the market. Then finally, the third aspect or the last graph which is there at the bottom, it indicates the fact that the nutrition with climate change, increased carbon dioxide scenario would be affected in the sense whether it is wheat and rice, the protein per se or the amino acid profiles are getting affected because of high temperature and higher carbon dioxide. But it doesn't get affected in pulses and millets per se. So that's how there is a need, we would be looking at the sustainability of these crops in the climate change scenario. And few of the crops, whether it is the kodo, whether it is the finger millet, they all have the stability in terms of performing under drought and the flood because of the low water requirement and their elasticity in terms of adjusting to the climates. Then that's how we started looking at, because the entire germplasm, hardly 1.2% was used earlier. Entire crop improvement scenario was based on the selections only. There was no recombination breeding. So the entire gamut of breeding strategies across these crops, looking at the germplasm available and the traits in question what we need to be focusing on. This was the main strategy where the Indian Institute of Millets Research, which was established in 2015, started to looking at. That's how we started the recombination breeding from that particular year onwards. So this is how the traits per se across crops, including the idea of utilizing these millets for different usages was also looked at, so that total complete plant utilization would be looked at. So in small millets, we are looking at hybridization, looking at the male sterility systems, and also because already we have the partial sterility systems, so whether it is the CGMS or the CMS systems are going to be exploited further. So I'm not going into the future thrust and the details of the R&D development which has been there, but now coming to the seed per se we are looking at. In this particular session, we are going to look at the dynamics of food systems, the seed systems, access to quality seeds, and including the change in the dynamics of the health systems per se. So, if we look at the global seed market for millets, we made an exercise which was required to be submitted to the PMO, wherein what is going to be the total value of the millets based on the production estimates. The total value in crores, it is coming to about 4,96,383 crores. That is what is the total seed needed to be supplied if we take into consideration the total mean area and the production put together. This is how the crop-wise estimates were made, and the global requirement, the seed demanded in tons and the area required to be planted. Entire system has been put together. But how it is going to come, because seed hubs we have established, but there is a move that it should be taken to the grassroots, to the KVK systems, so that the seed and the access to quality seed would be much better. That's what is the main idea basically. Coming to the exports, because look at the entire requirement for the gluten-free grains globally. We are producing 15 million tons, about 17 million tons today. And looking at the export possibilities, the survey shows that the global market is to grow over about 14 billion US dollars at a CAGR of 4.6% between 19 to 27, that is the estimate. So, entire Asia Pacific is going to be a dominant market with 41% and Europe with 32% and Middle East with 32% and Europe with 14.1%. So, globally people are searching for diversified grains and diversified food systems. That is what is the Global Millet Export Survey says. I am not going into details of each of these markets. This indicates whether it is Asia Pacific, Middle East, European, North American or South and Central American regions, it indicates the demand anywhere from 8.9% to 33%. So, and they say it is going to grow at an annual growth rate about 10.2%. So, this is what is the total demand which up to 2027 that has been put together. So, coming to the total value of the millets in India, it is Indian market, it is 1,27,826 crores. That is what is the total market that has been estimated to be in India today. Now, the 2050 we have made an estimate, again for the PMO it has been estimated, because they want to look at total plant utilization, entire forage, feed and biofuel systems to be supported, because when the droughts are going to be more or there will be erratic rains, and also looking at the northern states of India in Punjab, UP and Haryana, they want to look at the diversified agriculture and mainstreaming millets and other crops in this rice and wheat and potato ecosystem. So that is what is the one of the policy demand looking at. Again, coming to the health benefits, whether it is the celiac disease, anti-diabetic properties, a reduction in oxidative stress, anti-cancer properties, anti-hypertensive properties, all have been based on the validated health benefit documents, medically tested.
We have another 2 minutes, Dr. Tonak.
I will take, sir, 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. So then the entire thing would be putting together health benefits, whether it is the anemia or beneficial control or the preventing the allergic reaction. Looking at the nutritional density across entire dietary systems, we need to be looked at the protein and the calorie deficiencies what we are going to have only with the rice and wheat ecosystems. So in this particular scenario, this crop represents the superiority of millets in relation to rice and wheat. So what is the key? Key is the food processing, and we created about 346 different value-added products at Indian Institute of Millets Research. Have been the entrepreneurship ecosystem, startup ecosystem has been developed. The quality laboratories and the standards and grades were established for procurement and also for the food standards linking with APIDA and FSSAI. And intervention with the machineries were made because they were all Chinese machines. We need to tweak with the millets requirement for the rheological properties of the food grains and the grains basically. And this is how the kind of dietary systems, whether traditional, whether the modern foods, whether pastas or the flakes, this is the kind of diversity. What we know is only the corn flakes. We have eight millet flakes to be diversified, a millet flake a day, and 1 millet rice a day, that is the diversity. So this is the kind of diversity in terms of food products that has been created. I would like to draw your kind attention on this particular graph, on the last part of this particular system. Whether this particular increase is going to be sustained across with the climate change scenario is going to be there, then there would be paradigm shifts in this particular graph portions. So that is what the anticipatory research, anticipatory production systems and food systems we need to be looking at. That's what is the kind of projections that has been being made in the particular document. So the today's challenges, what I am really coming at is to be putting the best practices in Indian states, linking farmer to the market, strengthening the value chain, creating the entrepreneurship ecosystem and the startup ecosystem and the farmer producer organizations. So this is what is the complete value chain we are looking at. We have mapped the states, what kind of strategies we need to be adopting in the low yield gap state and high yield gap states. And the strategy should be improving the supply side factors and improving the demand side factors, rationalization the price, and the policies that need to continue for next 5 years beyond the International Year of Millets 2023 to handhold the farmers to have the sustained production. So this is what is the main strategy, is to make the millet mighty through the policies around. Without policies, you can't bring the grains which have been pushed to the background. Probably next 5 years would be the watershed area where millets would be having the rationalized prices, availability throughout, and main aspect we need to be looking at the roadmap is access to quality seeds is an important aspect. Then the FPO strengthening, linking to the market, the farmer, and the quality standards for procurement and export. That's what the APIDA and FSSAI are going to be doing this. So he's our leader. He has led the millet mission, and that's what we look at, how millets are going to be the grains mainstreamed into the food plate of everyone. So thank you very much, sir. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Tonapi. I think it's wonderful insights into the scope of millets and the limitations. So I think we'll have a lot of scope for discussion after the panelists give their insight. Dr. Krishna Prasad, you have about 10 minutes. So kindly share your thoughts on how the NGO sector actually does this.
Not this one. Krishna. This is continuation. So, good evening. So, this is a privilege for me to talk in front of our Trimurtis. Actually, Tonapi sir, Venkateshwarul sir and Patil sir, even today the farming community, they remembers their contribution. So, I am very glad. So, this is what, our work, this millet work, nearly 24-25 years we worked. So, we have lots of stories to tell. It's like people were laughing the brown top millet. Even to find that brown top millet name, it took more than 5-6 years. So now it's mainstream. Everywhere people are growing, marketing. So lots of stories are there around. But anyway, this is how farmers and scientists can work together with some good bureaucrats. We can bring changes and wonders. So Sahaja Samruddha is the farmers organization. We are closely work with the seed savers, Bharat Bi Swaraj Manch. We have built a strong network of the seed savers community. So this is what we worked on: saver rice and desi kapas, vegetables, and also this millet for a long time, because Karnataka is the homeland of the ragi and other millets. So this is what we have started our work in 2006-2007. So this is all systematic, because we are very proud. Actually, personally, I learned all this seed saving techniques from the Ethiopian Gene Bank, long bank. It was in 1995. So that time, these were all systematic, some seed mapping, and especially Dr. Malako Warde and others, how the Ethiopia lost the sorghum varieties, and the Israel Gene Bank took the germplasm and kept it. When they requested back during that famine, they lost the teff sorghum varieties. Israel Gene Bank asked them to give one teff variety. They must give 10 different sorghum varieties. All these stories they were telling. This is what gave a lot of inspiration for us to take up this conservation work. Look at that, from seed mapping, seed collection, characterization and evaluation, and participatory varietal selection. These are all on-farm conservation, and then taking them to the markets also. This kind of partnership work, this is what already Tonapi sir showed. This is mapping of the millet diversity. All the 9 millets we are conserving, growing and marketing. And this is what we did it in mainly for Karnataka. So we are also doing this for other states, Orissa and other. So this is what, you can go to the KRISHI Panchangams, British Gazetteers, knowledgeable farmers, and our scientists and breeders in the 60s and 70s, they collected, like people like Dr. Lakshmana and others. So keeping all that, we developed a seed mapping. And also 3 category: varieties still popular, growing, becoming rare, and the extinct. So whatever the extinct, that passport data, then we are started requesting wherever the gene banks, whether ICRISAT or NBPJR. So that took lot of time. Anyway, we are very proud. When Tonapi sir was there, we brought lot of the lost varieties from the IAMR Gene Bank. So this is what most of all the foxtail, ragi, we did a mapping. And also not only collection, the story. For us, it's not just a variety. This is a story, how ragi came on the earth. So this is what the cultural part is very important, because the millet and the culture is bounded. And this is what we are very proud. This brown top millet was growing in the Rayalaseema, and especially the poor, Dalit and marginalized farmers were growing. So actually I come from the Rayalaseema area, because the roti, I think no other millet roti, you can keep more than a month. It will not even bajra, but it develops bitter taste. But this is like a kadak roti kind, brown top millet, amazing. And also you can control the weeds, you grow under tree shade. So this is what we have started promoting. And first publication we brought in collaboration with the Bangalore Agriculture University. It was in 2006. I think then you have seen the history, it's got popularized, and this is now 90 rupees per kilo grain and more than 300 rupees per kilo rice. I think among all the millets, it's very expensive, and 18% dietary fiber, oats is only 11%. So this, but our work is not just conservation. We strongly believe farmers are the scientists. So this is, I am very proud and respectful. Lot of the scientists trained our farmers. We never say, no, keep aside scientists, we do wonders. No, it's like a farmers and scientists can come on the common platform, we can do wonders. This is the thing. Because neck blast was very severe, and keep on selection with the help of the scientists and other specialists. Now most of our ragi varieties are free from the neck blast diseases. We have more than 70 varieties. Look at this. This is what I think. Instead of keeping our seed material in the gene banks, let's give it to the farmers. This is what Indian Institute of Millet Research and Sahaja Samruddha, we did 70 ragi varieties. It's like we shared our samples. This is like a celebration. Let farmers come, media people come, stories goes, return of the ragi, like that media stories appeared. So this is a very, for us, from August to December, January, lots of these melas, like a celebration. This time, Kharif Jowar. Look at that. This is a Panchayat president. He gave a land and conserved more than 33 little millet varieties. So when he did, lots of politicians came and saw that. So these are all involving different things, and importantly, participatory varietal selection. And this is a wonder thing. Here, all the potential varieties goes for the seed supply type system, and remaining goes for the seed banks. So that is, we identify the seed savers. Their responsibility is to grow in a small scale and conserve and put it in the bag in the seed banks. But the potential varieties goes to the seed producers. They grow in a big scale. That goes for the farmers, large scale multiplication. These are all, knowledgeable farmers and the. So this is, I think we can do, involve the woman group. This is this year, this woman self-help group, most of them are the marginalized landless people. They leased 1 acre land and grown 74 different ragi varieties, finger millet varieties. And that you see their celebration, one by one, harvesting, threshing separate, keeping seeds aside. Now they are making that panicle, the ragi toranam also. So this is kind of involve them, and that way we can train the barefoot scientists. And some of the simple characterization, this is in collaboration with the local agriculture universities or KRISHI Vignana Kendras. So this is what we did it in IAMR, but IAMR, Indian Institute of Millet Research Scientists, they did a very detailed characterization. I think these are the data enough for the farming community. And we are also supporting the millet breeders or seed breeders. So actually one of the Jagalur Ragi, very popular variety, it's spread in 3-4 states, that bred by one of our farmer. So this is not only millets, even other crops, so we do this conservation work. You can see how colorful it is, because anyway it's a pseudo millet, amaranthus. And this is the community seed banks. So community seed bank play a major role in informal seed supply systems or community-based seed supply systems. And apart from that seed, we are also promoting the agronomical practices, because don't blame the desi seed, yield nahi hai. But if you use ragi guli like that, intensification, finger millet intensification, little millet intensification, yields can be boosted. Using a traditional ragi, Bangalore Agriculture University recorded 24 quintals ragi yield. So that is also, people have now all creative idea, grow it on the tray. And this is the Jagalur Ragi, farmer variety. This is what we are demanding and requesting to release through the formal system. Dharwad Agriculture University is supporting this initiative. We have already, even Bangalore Agriculture University also, recently we had a Ragi workshop. So this is what we are convincing and showing the case, case. This is Jagalur Ragi, one of the wonderful Ragi, because government, NGOs and many individuals, they are promoting organic farming in a big scale. But traditional varieties, organic farmer varieties are not available. So then importantly, not we enter conservation, you link seed producers, millet producers to the markets. So this is what Sahaja Organics role, to market all the millets, around 2-3 crore they do the business. and Desi seed producer companies to sell the quality seeds, and Devdanya exclusively millet farmers producer company. So this is what our 5 kilo bags, and especially even community seed bank 10 years before and now our strategy is different, because 1 kilo you give ragi to the farmer, they give the double the quantity. Even a small mixture, then it it contaminates the entire lot. Even you will not understand, at least paddy you can see. So what we are doing now, community seed banks, they have seed producers. Their job is to produce the seeds required for that village. And whatever farmers giving double the quantity, that is like organic produce. So this year, this Kharif Jowar diversity block, you can, all these young farmers, and creating consumer support also. Creating consumers awareness is important. It's not just growing something. We do a lot of millet festivals regularly, and bringing millet calendars, and also all the celebrities. At least they can also part of this movement. This Karthi is a very popular cine actor. Kishore is a cine actor. That kind of people are the ambassadors. So this is what, to bring smile on the farmer's face. I think this is what we strongly, something participatory plant breeding, participatory crop improvement, and popularization of the traditional. This is the request for the scientific community. Instead of keep on releasing new varieties, already wonderful varieties are there. At least work on them. And second thing is, don't give any numbers. These are all the varieties. It's like a kappu navane or kempu navane. From generation it is there. If you give something PVK 1010, we lost that thing. I think these are the things breeders and our seed scientists must accept and come up with new ideologies for the farmers. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishna Prasad. I think it's a wonderful experience from the NGO sector. And Dr. Krishna Prasad's work is really recognized in the entire state of Karnataka. The farmers groups and even the government acknowledges his efforts in community seed preservation and distribution. So with that, we have come to the, we have completed the two insightful presentations. Now we have the panelists, we have 4 of them, and I request each of them to just highlight the, the key point, because we don't want that again we should repeat the importance of millets, which is already obvious now. But what is the innovation, what is the key point which you want to make to this audience? I think we'll greatly appreciate if you can just focus on that. So before that, the host university, they want to say 2 minutes about their own work on millets under the ICR system. Dr. Pawar.
First of all, sir, I am very thankful to the organizers and chair and our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Indramani sir, and our Director of Research. Here I am. Slides. Sir, here I am presenting the role of state agriculture research institutes in Maharashtra Millet Mission with special emphasis on VNKM Parbhani. Sir, this is already given regarding what is the importance of millets and International Year of Millets. This is the transformation of India from.
ये छोड़ो, आप अपना काम बताओ यूनिवर्सिटी का. ये सब छोड़ दो. Sir, under the leadership of our Vice Chancellorship, our Director of Research, we developed in collaboration with the KRISHI and ICR first biofortified variety of sorghum Parbhani Shakti. The quality traits are it is rich in Fe about 40 milligram per kg and zinc is near about 25 milligram per kg, and average grain yield is 34 quintals, and fodder is also very good, that is near about 107 quintals per hectare, and it is also moderately tolerant to the shoot fly and stem borer and grain mold and downward also. And some farmers on farmers feed, it is a good response and very now it becoming very popular variety, and this is the first biofortified variety of sorghum from our university, sir. So next is the 2 biofortified hybrids are reached at national levels. Out of that,
four are from two from our university, that is ASB 1200 FE and ASB 1269 FE. The characteristic of this first ASB 1200 is having higher grain yield and higher iron content, near about 87 to 88 ppm, and zinc content is also very good, near about 40 ppm, having a medium maturity of 80 to 85 days, and resistant to the down mildew and very compact earhead. And this hybrid is released at national level and also notified. This is also second hybrid, biofortified hybrid released by our university at national level, ASB 1269, and having higher grain and store yield, having high Fe near about 91 ppm, and zinc is about 45 ppm, and having the compact here, and also downy mildew resistance, and these both hybrids are performing very good on farmers' field. Beside this, our university under the leadership of our Vice Chancellor Dr. Indramani sir, and out of research and all the directors, Dean and DE, sir, we have taken up the field mega demonstrations of this biofortified sorghum variety Parbhani on 100 acres at central farm of PNMK Parbhani. Also front demonstrations of all these hybrids in cluster basis of near 100 acres of Parbhani Shakti and ASB 1200 and ASB 1269 in Aurangabad district on farmers field.
Okay.
And this is also, sir, not only we are also, this is the performance of farmers field, sir. They are getting good yields near 16 quintals per hectare. And this is the view of the on farmers fields. And we also not only we are, sir, we are also trying to produce the breedership production on large scale, and we are supplying to the Mahabij. But sir, it is my submission that we are producing the breeder seed, but Mahabij is not taken up for the large scale seed production. Our university is trying to produce whatever is possible, and we are distributing the seed among the farmers. This is the figures. We are also supplied the seed to the different institutes in our country, for from IIM Hyderabad to Dhule, then Aurangabad, Buldana, Coimbatore, MP, and Tamil Nadu for FLD conduct. This is the view, sir. We also exhibited in 1st January 2023 a big mega demonstration, mega exhibition. Near about 10 to 15 lakhs farmers have visited for this demonstration, and we have made awareness about these biofortified hybrids among the farmers. These are some photographs, sir.
Okay.
And we also got the, sir, recognition since last 3 years. We got the best center award for ICR, ASRB, and ARP Aurangabad.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations for your good performance at Parbhani, Aurangabad.
Thank you, sir, for giving opportunity.
So with that, now we may invite Dr. Rana from Biodiversity International. 5 to 7 minutes, Dr. Rana. Your perspectives on millets.
Good afternoon. Dignity on the dais, Dr. Patil, Dr. Venkathaltu, Dr. Tonapi, and of the dais, Dr. Gupta and others. I'll share my experience of 7 years project, which Dr. Gupta is very much aware, and he was the person who reviewed that project. And in 5 minutes, I'll share the experience and the lesson learned. Because if you look at the seed system, the global north and global south are together a distinct seed system. Global north is entirely commercial and formal seed system, and global south is highly informal and dealing with small and marginal farmers. So all these two different seed systems are to be understood together. Second is the Indian seed system. What I experienced in my 7-8 years working with the farmers, the 86% of the small and marginal farmers, they do not have access to formal seed system even today. Maybe few varieties, few wheat, rice, maybe in few crops it might be, but in some cases 100% seed system is evolving around the traditional varieties and this thing. Thirdly, I would say that empowering not millets but empowering the native varieties. That has to be some kind of policy consideration, not only expect millet, but it should be on the overall agrobiodiversity or the native land races and varieties, which Krishna Kumar was telling that they are so wonderful. Lesson learned was that we talk a lot about community seed banks. We established community seed banks in one of our NAIP World Bank project when I was in NBPZR. But the approach was totally different. We took few seeds, few varieties, we give it to farmers, laid on FLDs, few FLDs like that, and created a community seed bank. It will never work. Because when we visited those community seed bank or sites, they were collapsed because there was no post-project support or sustainability was not assured. So when I was working in this project, that the first and foremost tension for me and that how to make it sustainable. So we have a different approach, we call it a crowdsourcing approach in the VASANTRA International. We have developed that approach where we set a large number of varieties in a different set for 5-6 years, and at the end of the day, you have a kitty of varieties with the farmers or on their own choice, and it's typical participative varietal selection. So we tested a lot of variety, more than 5,000 varieties or 20 crops we tested for 5 years, and then we reached to a seed production and champion farmers, and ultimately we established around 32 community seed banks. But we ensured that how we can develop a value chain to ensure the post-project sustainability. And for that, if you work in isolation, if university want to work in isolation, if ICR wants to work in isolation, it can never happen. It has to work in an integrated system, what we are talking, integrated system, not only seed system, but integration of institutions. So we made a network with three-tier system. One was in each project site, we have a ICR partner, we have a SU KVK, and we have a NGO partners. Because the kind of access NGOs has to grassroots level workers, we do not have. But certainly, NGO doesn't have that technical capacity in dealing some of the things, like establishing CSB, Community Seed Bank, with few traditional things that will not work. You have to have a very scientific management of community seed banks. Unless you do that, it will fail. And then the community seed bank has to be linked with the business kind of model. We did a lot of nutrition profiling, we did a lot of branding, packaging, labeling, trademarking, FSA licensing. All those things were done, and those company was created with that NGO. He came into front, and with a lot of technical backstopping was given to them, and that's why we reached to a market. You can find many products, GI take, for example, Jeera food in Chhattisgarh, and many of our Assam rices, we find that. Thirdly, why I said native variety and nutrition, when we did nutrition profiling, some of the varieties were nutritionally so rich, even much better than any of the varieties which we claim as a biofortified varieties. For example, in case of Bajra, when I talked to Satyabati and they were searching for low acidity, they were not there. But when we analyze those varieties, which we learned, this is like Pili Bajri, Munchwali Bajri and all this, they were very, very high low acid. And they are working on now. There's working material for them now. So those kind of rice, 14% protein. And in some of the land races of Assam and Uttarakhand, the low glycemic index was much lower even than what we claim from these varieties. We tested it for 5 times. So that is why I'm telling this mainstreaming native varieties. So that kind, because the rice, these are the rice particularly, it is so accepted in our culture, and everybody now wants to have their own that kind of land race, but they goes very well with their system and culture. And there is a lot of demand now. India has now this banned that export of the non-basmati local rices, because there is so much demand now. People like it. And we are not able to meet the demand. So that's very important. That lesson has to be learned. And when we say access benefit sharing benefit, I failed miserably. I could not establish any ABS mechanism because there are certain ground problems with the companies also and farmers as well. The kind of Nagoya protocol we have given that, okay, go for this kind of, but it is absolutely, for me, it was not possible, so I could not do it. And I admit it when review was happening. But we must work in together. We must work in a tripartite pattern. If university want to do something alone, not possible. We cannot visit. Our scientists are so packaged, overburdened, teaching, research, this and that. So let the grassroots NGOs work at ground level and give them technical backstopping. So that is how we can work and ultimately take the things to market if we really sustain the informal seed system. And a lot has been said that policy interventions are required and all those required. That we already discussed and that's it. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, you showed that one can make a powerful message without slides also. Thank you very much. Okay. Now we move on to Dr. Suresh Kumar from Bayer Crop Science. Dr. Suresh.
Good evening, everybody, and respected dignitaries on the dais. Great insights from both the presenters. That was really giving us an indication how the millet is really powerful as a crop for us in the agriculture sector. I just wanted to touch upon three major things, how we can really focus. I'm less looking at a perspective as a private partner, how it can be really looked at it. One is for any product, how we can really create a demand. It is going to be important when we want to create a demand, there is going to be more of requirement for that to look at it. How we can make millet a sustainable crop, where the farmers really gets the support, how we can really grow the crop sustainably, because we know that millets are really drought tolerant and they require less resources to be really managed. So that would really help the awareness which we create so that the area under millet can be increased. This will really look at it how we can grow more with less. As Dr. Topi was mentioning, how we wanted to really increase our productivity at the current level to the next level where the demand of millet is also more. Though we have major focuses on a few millets, there are also minor millets which really helps in nutritional powers. This is going to be achievable only when we really bring in the value additions for these products. See, today when the younger generations, they are looking at new products, I had a personal experience when I went to a dessert shop where a millet is being used and it is gluten-free, and that really attracts the younger generation. So those type of value addition products need to be brought in so that the demand of millet is going to be increased so that the grower is getting attracted towards producing it more. The other area where we need to really focus is on how we can really give the quality seed to them. Though there might be local areas where we really store the seeds, but it's also important to give them that knowledge that quality is going to be important so that the farmer who is going to grow, he doesn't feel that it is a second level of crop which is growing when he compares to rice or wheat. So that is also one thing which we need to create the awareness to the farmers that this is also a very important crop. It is going to be profitable crop which can really sustain. It will also improve your economic level. So these are certain areas where we need to really focus on. And the other thing is how we can also bring in technologies. See, because every grower is now with looking at ease of doing agriculture. That is going to be very, very important. Whatever crop we are trying to grow, even millets, we need to really look at it. What are those areas, the innovative technologies which can be brought in? It could be mechanization, post-harvest management, which can really help the growers for ease of production. When this ease of production is there, everybody is going to be attracted and you'll have multiple crop which can really be grown, which can also meet the supply demand which is going to be there. Lastly, very, very important is how we can really bring in the competitive pricing. So that is going to be very, very attractive for all the farmers to really look at it. Because today we talk about rice, we talk about wheat, we talk about corn, but how these millets can also be very, very attractive. Whenever the profits are there, it is going to be attracted by the growers to really attract towards it and start growing that. So this would really help some of the base work which can really help to expand the millet production in our country and also help the newer generation to sustain with the nutrition value which the millet is going to be there. So that's how I would really put my views, and thanks for this opportunity to share my views. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Suresh, for that crisp viewpoint. And now we have a madam waiting online, as you would see, Dr. Sharmila Oswal. Madam, are you able to listen to us? Hear us?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Yes. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you are audible. So you take
Yes,
about
sir.
5 to 7 minutes to share your viewpoint.
Okay, sir. So myself, honored as a Millet Woman of India, and as you all are aware that in Mann Ki Baat 97th edition, and after that also several times it was been mentioned and uploaded by Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi about our millet capacity building to the farmers. Last 20 years, I run NGO, Green Energy Foundation. And after that, in this last 3 years, mother and son. So my son who passed out from Ashoka University, Sonipat. So we initiated a social enterprise called Good Mom, because every character has a good mom. So millet is nothing but a good mom character. So we started with millet meetups of the farmers, and now I'm very glad and delighted to share that presently we have built a community, women community of 1.5 lakh women farmers. And across the India, we are running the millet, we have initiated the millet cafes. And in Odisha already, I have started working, and I'm very happy to share that state government had invited me, and I've just completed my primary and secondary survey with the 70 lakhs women in Odisha presently doing all the value addition, even the millet growing, millet producing, millet seeds. And there are, advantages and some of the lacunas and challenges in the terms of millet seeds, definitely. So domestic requirement has also increased a lot, like PM Poshan Yojana. Then we have also initiated, and we are in the process to start morning nutrition cereal of ragi, making ragi. So we have created the formulas for the Odisha's schools. So this all 70 lakhs women are able to generate the livelihoods, sustainable livelihoods. So we are hand-holding, packaging, branding, giving them a capacity building program. So 15 days they have the employment through the machineries what they have got, but 15 days they have no work. So we have started working on creating the alternative opportunities for them. So alternative opportunities in the terms of agro only. So in the millet itself, besides what they are doing presently, creating the millet sattu or millet khichdi, we have innovated the various new products. So like, let's assume that Odisha being a belt on Bengal or west side, we have come up with the formulas of millet momos, or as you all know, the present generation, they would not like to eat jawari, roti or bajri khichdi or millet khichdi because sabko ye bimaro ka khana lagta hai. So what we have done is like, okay, aaj ki generation ka taste of tongue jo hai, wo hai, let's say pasta, pizza, noodles. And we ourselves, Good Mom, as a IIMR incubated, NutriHub incubated startup, and I'm very glad to share that in 2 years, we could achieve 20 crores, 16 crores to 20 crores revenue. And now this 23 to 24 financial year, we are aiming and aspiring to be 25 to 30 crores. So the kind of business we have generated through our communities, through e-commerce, through B2G. So if you see the ministries, they put the vending machines in Delhi for the millets, like even NAFED is our official distribution. So now in India, there are 1,000 startups who are working in the millet fraternity. Now, along with the India domestic, like let's say the general trade or the modern trade, the entrepreneurship, self-help groups, FPOs, all have come together at the same time in export. We have started doing wonderful work. We were being invited at USA. We launched the Millet Mission at Florida. We launched the Millet Mission at New York with the New York Embassy, Boston Embassy. We did the floaters on 15th August in US. I'm also very happy to share that I did a lot of sessions with Sorghum Board, Nebraska, did some of the capacity building programs because they want to have the innovations and technology similar like India. Because as you know, in America or Europe, it is considered as millet for the animal fodder or bird feeder. So by looking at the Indian context and the millet culture, all the Western countries are getting influenced to eat millets in the terms of Burger King ka patty ho, McDonald's ka patty ho. So I think world is going towards, and we are the reason for creating this smart food revolution. I would like to mention some of the challenges what we are facing, like in export. And for that, legal or policy interventions are very important, because in export, if you see sorghum, United States of America recently, they stopped sorghum containers, and they have, while exporting sorghum to US, there were huge issues because there is import permits. Same for the UK. After when we exported millet to UK, suddenly the health ministry, and we received the letter that it is a novel grain. So US, UK, Australia are having a very stringent requirements. If you see BioFarc, Nuremberg at Germany, they didn't allow millets. They strictly stopped us for bringing millet products or value-added millet products, or even the millets, because they, let's say NPOP or NOP or whatever the requirements they have, but the issues of germination or issues of residues, or though we say that, let's say millet is a by default organic. So there are like ragi, for example, in US, nobody knows. There are 1,000 startups. Imagine everybody is so much open and flexible for export, but none of them or any one of us is aware on what are these export regulations on millets. yet world has not opened with that kind of regulations or having the complete awareness of millets, because even US is like considering as an animal fodder. So we need to work on the policy interventions a lot. If you visit to Delhi Heart, there is a millet cafe, and I'm very glad that similar millet cafes we are coming up. Let's say in Odisha, it is way before, like in 2017. I mean, the whole journey has started. Women movement, millet could generate a greater livelihoods, the greater awareness, the greater campaigns. I want to share that even in our songs and festivals, we have also started making every month through our 75 cities, our women groups, the potlucks. I'm very excited to share this, that we have started with the millet potlucks, where every woman is bringing a millet recipe. Even in the 5-star hotels, we have come up with the millet food festivals. So this way, everywhere we are starting the millet awareness. Brahma Kumari, Rajasthan, then recently as Badmer, Bajra research has been initiated, which is great. I'm very happy to share that I belong to, like my all Purvaj ancestors are from Rajasthan, Gujarat, and I born and brought up in Maharashtra. So I belong to these 3 states. So very hugely motivated by millet culture, Jawar, Bajra and Ragi. And we are doing great work, but we need the seeds, quality seeds, because to cater, if you see Rajasthan, the highest statistics, malnutrition is highest. Pregnant women, children, the seeds has to have proper zinc, amino acids or iron, then only we can combat anemia. So creating the seed hubs or the PPP partnerships, along with that, I will add one more P, that is a philanthropic. So considering the CSR, let's assume Vedanta industry or Adani industry, they have come up with the great CSR initiatives. So if we could have this kind of PPP partnership, 4 Ps with the philanthropy included in that, I think we could have the vibrant seed hubs where farmers will have a quality seeds and we can have a quality millets so that we can combat malnutrition. Now, if you see in India, the rates have increased because this demand and supply chain management is not getting along well. But if you see fitness industry, wellness industry, and गरीबों का खाना हम जिसे कहते थे, वो गरीब आज मोहताज हो गया है जवार की भाकरी खाने को या चपाती खाने को. So you all experts are here, and I'm sure the government is incentivizing the program for more production. But we are very much looking forward for the policy intervention so that even if we like, let's say we are trying to be a global millet hub, and I taking this responsibility on my shoulder and creating every woman as a millet woman of India, as we are all good moms. So we need the great support from the all scientists, from all the organizations here to cultivate, to produce more and more quality seeds so that I think we can do the greater in the millets. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Sharmilaji, for that very powerful message. And in addition to your own work, you have also highlighted some of the non-tariff barriers for exporting millets to Western countries. You know, that's very useful piece of information for the audience. So please remain online so that if there is any query from the audience, you will be able to respond. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So with that, we actually concluded the regular panel discussion, and now we open the all the presentation to the House. If there is any particular pointed issue which you want to suggest or query, you can point out to the speaker or to the panelists. But Swaminathan, you wanted to share some, you wanted to say something? Okay, if you have any point which is not covered so far, okay.
Sir, I have to add quickly one thing. Can I add?
Yeah, you wait for this, you know, somebody will query and you can, at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a mic? Somebody can give the mic. What is that? So we are not able to hear you. You take the mic.
In Dr. Tanapi's
Yeah, it's working.
Dr. Tanapi's presentation in the seven sutras slide, Seed is not appearing. I was only a bit disappointed. Can we add the seed also in that? Because
Seed is not, is missing
the seed
in
word
seven
is missing in
sutras.
that 7 sutras. Okay, it will take care of it. No, I mean, I was
But
just
since
thinking-
it is a seed science congress,
yeah, I was.
he thought that you would put seed as a
Yeah.
important issue. So I think he is justified in saying that. Anybody else? Yes, Mahatre.
My observation is actually related to Tonapi, sir. Especially in Maharashtra, in Kharif sorghum, earlier it was area more than 20 lakhs, but it drastically reduced up to the 3 lakhs. But the seed system is not actually planned. The farmers, a good number of hybrids and variety, potential hybrid or variety release for the grain yield as well as powder yield. But the supplies, the seed system is blocked because the private, even public sector not interested to produce the hybrid as well as varietal seeds. If farmers actually, if government increase the MSP, definitely the Maharashtra farmer again divert to the cultivation of Kharif sorghum. This is my submission.
You want to react? Tonapi?
Sir, Maharashtra problem is typically the creation of our own mid-duration hybrids we bred in our programs. Maharashtra, the entire area came down from 5 to 6 million hectares to about 1.5 to 2 million hectares now. Because grain mold is a problem, because mid-duration hybrids get caught in the rain. Now strategizing this, I have already told in the millet program in the AICRPs that even in the universities, strategizing the breeding programs to have a short duration hybrid, like in corn with erect leaves, where high density planting would complete their life cycle before the onset of your monsoons. So that breeding strategy for short duration hybrid needs to come. Number two, please don't look for the fodder per se. Your total number of plants that you increase in high density would compensate and augment the fodder that is really required. I think kindly imply into that, I think this strategy would help to resurrect the area back, which we lost it earlier. I think that is where the strategy would be successful. And I feel as Director of Research, probably in different universities, you can really look around to put the strategies together. Thank you.
True, sir. Sir, just I'd like to have one observation, sir. You are right, sir.
Yeah.
When Dr. Venkateshwarlu, sir, was Vice Chancellor over there, we tried several times bringing back Kharif sorghum again. That is bringing food and fodder security. But price is the issue. Market price or MSP. In this year, the Rabi Jwar prices are to the tune of 6,000 rupees quintal. It is because of what? Drought situation. And secondly, area depletion. Because of that. In Kharif sorghum was replaced by soybean. Only 25 lakh hectares soybean, 24 lakh hectares soybean. But anyway, sir, this is my observation on his observation. But when we were planning the program of this National Seed Congress, particularly a meeting was held on 31st of August in Delhi. Dr. Gupta Saabji and Madam Dadlani would be very happy. Myself, Vice Chancellor sir, and AD Dr. Beg, the then AD had planned this special session because this is the International Year of Millets. When it is year, it will end on 31st of December ensuing. But I hope that this millet mission will be carried forward.
Yeah.
At this juncture, when it was being held in Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, it was our prime duty to let you know the first biofortified sorghum variety was given by this university, named Parbhani Shakti, and out of 4 hybrids per millet varieties in case of Bajra, 2 are given by VNMK Parbhani. So 50% share from the research wing of this institute, which was shared by my colleague Dr. S.B. Pawar,
Yes.
Associate Director Research at NARP. So Dr. Gupta ji and Dr. Dadlani ma'am, the very purpose of keeping this special session on millets, health security, farmer security and prosperity is served. That is my opinion.
Yeah, sure.
That is my observation.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely, I think we agree with you. And Madam has a point. Give the mic to Malavika Madam.
So, as it's rightly pointed out by Dr. Vaskar, that we thought that millet mission is fine. I mean, now everyone is almost aware about the importance of millets in our food system and its health benefits and so on. But as it was also evident from today's presentations or some comments by the panelists, availability of good quality seeds, of the varieties which are needed by the farmers, because now farmers are telling about their preferences. So there has to be a system of this seed chain of such varieties, not only just released varieties. Yes, Parbhani Shakti is one of the biofortified varieties released by this very university, but also some of the traditional varieties which have preference by the farmers and the consumers. So the seed supply chain of such varieties, Dr. Rana is here, who has done a lot of good work, particularly in case of rice, traditional rice varieties. I think a similar model can be tried. Thank you.
Okay, I think well made. We have a farmer from Usmanabad, a farmers producing company. Yes.
हेलो सर, मिलेट में sorghum छोड़ के दूसरे जो मिलेट के क्रॉप है उसमें यील्ड बहुत कम है, तो पहले गवर्नमेंट ने एमएसपी बढ़ाना चाहिए. जब तक एमएसपी उसका नहीं बढ़ता तब तक हम कितना भी ट्राई करें उसमें सीड चेन में लाने के लिए कोई नहीं लेगा, क्योंकि उसका प्रोडक्शन कॉस्ट इतना है कि उसमें कुछ नहीं बचेगा उसको. तो एमएसपी रेट उसमें बढ़ना चाहिए. और सीड चेन में लाने के लिए सर सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने उस पे बजट डालना चाहिए, क्योंकि खाली हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में अभी क्या हो रहा है, मिलिटियर बोल के समथिंग तो रैलीज निकाल रहे हैं लोगों को मिलेट का
अवेयरनेस
उसके बजाय उस पे बजट डाल के सीड चेन में जब तक नहीं लाएंगे तब तक ये नहीं बढ़ेगा.
Absolutely correct. Yes, I think this is a point. So yes. Put on the mic. Yes.
Good evening, sir. This is Dr. Netra from US, Bangalore. My question is to Dr. Krishna Prasad. How are these farmers identifying the millet varieties? Because there's a lot of mixtures within the varieties and between varieties. How are they identifying in the field? And my second the point that I would like to make is we can also make use of the old and obsolete varieties. Means because of the climate change, when there was olden varieties were gone, and now we can bring it back and retrieve those varieties for the further improvement in the breeding process as well. Thank you.
So Krishna Prasad, you want to respond?
Yes, sir. So one is when you establish a diversity block, actually our intention is not just a monocrop of the millets. It's like a millet based multi-cropping systems. I think that is what we are talking about, just production. You just see the millet based multi-cropping system. That is what Navadanya, Andhra Pradesh pushed it in a very big scale. So that is what Baranaja, Pannendu Pantalu, Akkadi system, that is need to bring back. So here, before doing the diversity block, we do lot of exercises and also our experience. That is what collection is very important. You cannot just 5 minutes go collect something and bring back. No. It's like, it took nearly 2 to 3 years to identify that variety. It's like a Kona Kombina Ragi, Buffalo Horn Ragi, it's especially for the making rotis. And Majjige Ragi, White Ragi, making idli and dosa. So these are all very unique. So you must identify where it's available, all those things. Before establishing a diversity block, we have all details are there. And we have seed savers. That is what we have, need not to worry. We have 60, 70 seed savers. Whatever genetic material is coming, first we will give it to them. They grow, we will do all the purification. Then the selected ones, purified ones, that will come for the diversity block for the public.
Yeah, okay. Yes, Dr. Gupta ji.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me compliment the government of India and other stakeholders, including research institutions, IIMR, which have played a big role in popularizing millets. I have been working at, at Almora, where, in Himachal and Almora, in Himachal and Uttaranchal, finger millet and barnyard millet makes 20% of the cereal, meets and 20% of their cereal requirement. So it has been very important. But because of demand, the farmers were slowly leaving it out. As Dr. Tonapi has shown that the area has gone down, but because of the crop improvement efforts, yield has increased. Now, during this International Millet Year, we have brought a lot of awareness, lot of efforts. Somehow we should try to find out a way out so that after this 21st of December, it should continue. Many times, I'm sure we all have experience of implementing an ad hoc project. So when ad hoc project is gone, then things disappear. So let's try, you remember very early in a NAIP project, there was a sustainability, question of sustainability, how to sustain this effort so that it should not, tempo should not dry down. Now, some funding should come from government so that these efforts should continue. That is number one. Number two, about seed system, I was thinking, is it possible, can IIMR or some institution can have a portal where we can say that, give a list of the varieties of different millets and availability of seed and its suitability to various states, so that people, if they don't have seed, they can get it. For example, I was working for some time in J&K. They wanted in the International Millet Year, they wanted to grow millet. Now they did not know which millet, and if narrow down to finger millet, which variety. So they have to start work again, testing and all that. Whereas, for northwestern Himalaya, Almora had already worked out and released varieties which are suitable for Jammu and Kashmir. So such, information gap is also there. Now, if this thing can be done, then I'm sure this tempo will continue. And as Dr. Tonapi said, Dr. Tonapi, it's a wonderful presentation, fantastic presentation. We can play a great role in making a global move, and which we are all making. But it should not die down. Please make sure that it should continue even after this. And the role of machineries is very important in this. I had a discussion with him because after harvesting, threshing and purling of millets is very important because it is covered by a thick gloom, and that gloom cannot be, if you want to remove manually, it's a very what's called drudgery, is involved. So if we can do something on making machines possible, what's called machines popular, so that wherever it is there, farmers should be able to use machines and bring down the cost of cultivation. Thank you.
So I think Dr. Gupta Saab made very useful points. I think reporters must be noting down. Some of these points can go into the recommendations. So Tonapi would like to react.
Only 2 points, sir. The 25 seed hubs that have been created by Government of India has enlisted
the latest last 10 years varieties plus state-wise traditional varieties which are suitable and preferred in that area. And there are 9 centers which are looking at the traditional varieties and their production. But I think the effort need to be on the lines of Odisha government, which recently released 3 of the traditional varieties and notified in the Gazette and brought in the seed chain. So similar efforts in different states would help them to bring in the seed chain also. So I think this is one of the efforts we have submitted to the government, a policy document to be followed, millets beyond International Year of Millets, what policy things need to come. So because Millet Mission also did not come from any special funding, they carved out the money from the National Food Security Mission. Wherever the money was saved from Pulse Mission or Oilseed Mission, that money was put to the Millet Mission. So similar efforts, they say it is going to continue, but I think we need to pursue with the government. Sir. Thank you.
That's good. So I think, sir, I think with that we almost did a, yeah, Dr. Prasad.
Regarding the points raised by Dr. Gupta Sahab, the processing, actually that was expressed by many of the farmers, these millet farmers. So in fact what we did, wherever these crops are majorly located, nearby KVKs we have installed the machineries, processing machineries that at nominal charges. So that way I think we can create the processing machinery for the, after the harvest. I think we can encourage the farmers.
Sir wants to, Patil sir wants to say something.
I think we have heard all the presentations. I will go in a joking manner, whether you appreciate or not. Whether Tonapi's wife is using millets in her house. How many of you are using millets in your houses?
Quite good number, sir. Quite good number.
Only for telling. If you ask wife, she wants to prepare idlis quickly, then chapatis, and send children to school, then to you. So social, that's what that lady has done. Social intervention is more required to propagate millets, because earlier I come from a village where we were eating only millets in 50s and 60s. I will tell a joke.
That's why he's so active and healthy.
My father used to tell how Britishers popularized coffee and tea in India. That story we can apply to. They went on in Jatra, wherever places are there, they went on distributing free tea, this, that. Why they wanted this secret is very secret subject. Indians with this much height and only this much weight, they were lifting jawar bags, tur bags like this.
Oh.
Now who is lifting? 25 kg bags have come now. So they wanted to reduce the strength of the Indians, they brought coffee and tea to India. So whether we can take millets in that direction, because it is a positive thing here, not reducing the strength. Where earlier people were only eating millets who were working in villages with agriculture. They were eating only millets, whether it Rajasthan, Bajra, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Jawar, and some areas, Bangalore area, Ragi, still it is there. When education came and people started moving, these have diminished. Not our efforts of agriculture or anything will not do anything. So when people started moving from villages to cities, millets gone to their own place. And now, as mentioned by many people, we talk so many things on paper, rosy, give picture, oh, millets, this, that, everything. Tonapi has done a lot of work. But what is the price given to the farmers and incentive given to the farmers? I think not even 5%. I think he will be agreeing he is actually doing. I have done a lot of work in my Gulbarga regards millets, you know it. We have a special FAO for millets in Alan at Tadkal, where they produced 1,000 quintals of thing. For marketing, they struggled so much. that finally they were to take. In local area, nobody is taking 35 rupees, 30 rupees per kg, that's all, whether it is finger millet or anything. So, as he mentioned this year, sorghum and other things, I will tell you, I am working even now in villages only, as you know, you came. Sorghum cutting, sorghum here it is separation. All that requires lot of labor. So they have discontinued sorghum. This year 6,000, next year area will come, no problem. But still, now tour is 11,000 rupees because last year there was wilt. So whether next year if it is 11,000, they will leave cotton and come to. So this changes somebody has to take into cognizance. As that lady presented, we tried at Dharwad Agriculture, now we have community college, now earlier home science college. A lot of efforts we made, even we took to, there was a project operated between Canada and ourselves with McGill University and us, food security in South India was the project title. It was collaboration with McGill. We took our Bajra, all things and popularized in. They said, you come and prepare here, and you keep hotel or you keep restaurant, then only. Nobody wants to do in our country all these things, but we like it eating these Bajra rotis and they are nutritious, but somebody has to do it and then we'll eat. So now we tried with Swaminathan Foundation and Dharwad again in Home Science College to popularize to modern bread company. Modern bread company increased the price when they added millets from whatever price to almost 50%. The benefit was taken by the modern bread, but not the millet growers. So likewise, so I think there has to be a special team through food and nutrition, whatever you want. In a hotel now, we are in Taj Hotel, we are eating. Can you have a special dosa or special whatever the pizza or whatever with millets, and this is the health benefit, put a chart. Then slowly, I think a lot of social work as they have done probably will in university system. How many breeders are there? How many people are there in KVK who are popularizing millets? Only Katachar, that is what we call in Kannada. So nobody wants to do it simply. Even because they have kept the subject, there is a discussion, otherwise nobody would have. So therefore, unless you seriously do it through food system, and government is giving rice and wheat through for then why they want? Cooking is so easy for rice, just cook it, eat it. So all these social things, probably there has to be a special team, whether you call millet mission or whatever it is. So combining all universities who are interested in millets, there has to be a team. Once in a while you meet and how you can popularize. And the price wise, you know that Monday man who is doing in Genie Inn, how he popularized business is almost now 10 crores. With the branding and all that, so much extension he has done, and all media presentations. So there has to be a special team, whether it is Millets Institute takes or universities take. Now why Hurda is popular in Maharashtra? It has gone to the road markets. So can you do like this, the products of this?
Yeah, I know.
So somebody does like this in taking to the common food system of hotel eating or schools, then only millets will be popular. Otherwise, any amount of our talking presentations will not. Seed system, when we have produced 1,000 quintal of seed in Gulbarga, that society, nobody is taking 1,000 quintals, the special FU for millets. So please see what problems are coming. According to problem, we have to change our plan. All that is, we went to Ethiopia. We also went to Ethiopia. This teff is so popular, but they are growing on shallow soils there. 1 quintal or 2 quintal yield, according to the Indian currency, their price is around 25,000 rupees per quintal. Whether anybody can purchase 25,000 rupees per quintal here?
When 1 rupee rice is being given by government.
So these are all the problems, although we speak merits of millets and all. Ragi, nobody popularized in Bangalore area, Ragi is there. Gulbarga or Maharashtra, nobody popularized Jawar because of the traditional, but it is fluctuating on price, on dominance of rice in the food system. So I think all these you can put together and make a policy of millet promotion. Then only it will reach the farmers. So one experiment we did in Gulbarga and Bidar. Morning walking people with diabetics, kilometers together they walk. So we organized this millets, millets liquid we made, sharbat like thing, and we fed them freely. Then it has been popularized in such a manner that people are started taking, and those who have diabetics, they are taking millets and asking their wives to do that, this. So such type of popularization technique, what Orissa women has done, or what we little bit we did in Gulbarga, or Genie person who has done in Bangalore, probably they are what, only we have to catch hotels and popularize this.
Thank you very much, sir. I think you have hit the nail very hard. I think the organizers are hinting me to, so sir, last comment.
I'll just take 1 minute. What Dr. Patil says is perfectly fine, but there is another dimension of this problem. You see, what International Year of Millet has done is brought a lot of awareness, not only in rural area, but urban area. It has been a tremendous impact. If you take a survey, I am sure every next man, alternate man, wants to have millet in one form or other, provided it is made available. And fortunately, I am seeing that even in Delhi, it is easily available. It has become easily available. Even at Fab India and various shops, it's become, even on Amazon, you order it and you get that. So it has become available. And now we must take advantage of this awareness. As you are telling, diabetics, their requirement. So, India is going to be a diabetic capital. Okay, already. So, I mean, we have a blessing in disguise for the consumption of these millets, and because of that diabetics problem, even the healthy people also would like to have. I know there are many people in cities who take all 7 days a week at least once this millets. So let's try what I was telling, let's try and see. And another thing what has happened, that recipes, because of International Year of Millet, you go to Ashoka Hotel, you go to other, now there are Bajra pearl millets soup. There are, in Indian Airlines, there is a ragi halwa as a dessert, as a sweet dish. So these things are coming up. Once the tempo has been picked up, we have to make sure that it doesn't die down. Okay. That is where Dr. Tonapi, you will have to make effort, and also you have to make sure and convince Dr. Patil that you eat millet every day. You have to, huh? He eats millet every day. So he wants you also to eat millet every day.
So, okay then.
Okay, all right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'll just conclude in a minute. I think So, I think you all agree we had a very rich session, and although we have exceeded time, but it was very interesting and very active participation from the audience. And only just 2-3 points I would like to see if they are really useful as a recommendation. Number one is that, about promoting millets, G20 countries, our India will be leader. And this year, India has proposed a international project called Maharshi. And this is basically to promote millets globally, not just in India, but all the G20 countries. So if everybody takes this seriously, and if they want to really put some money, and if India stops it suddenly after December, then we will be very badly criticized. Therefore, I think the point Dr. Gupta ji made, we should have some mechanism to, this is I think one recommendation we can put it, that we really have to continue. How to find money is something which we have to, and I don't think Indian government is also very serious. I don't think they will stop it, because it's a issue of prestige also. This is number one. Number two is that really, how do you want to place these millets in relation to our population? See, we are always talking about promoting millets, more price, opening all shops in urban areas, shops, markets, malls. And even in Hyderabad airport, there is a 40/20 big shop where there is a millet marvel, all millet foods. There is no shop for rice wheat. That means that much, the person is able to, perhaps he will not buy a shop unless he finds a market. So it is coming up. Only thing is, but I think many NGOs are criticizing scientists. They say that you are seeing millet as an export crop, as an urbanite crop. But why don't you see millet as to remove the malnutrition in the rural women and children? I mean, that's the where it is really required. Because even in Odisha, when we see the women farmers are encouraged to grow millets and then supply to the consumers or to the other market because there is a higher price. In that case, they will lose the whatever nutritional benefits that are available in the millets. The very purpose, you see, the segment which is malnourished in India is in the rural areas, especially the women and children. And that's where we should see that this millet is consumed there to start with. Then other things like income enhancement and export revenue, all these things will come secondary. I think this element of prioritization is something which we have to really keep in mind. Otherwise, it will end up again, in our South India, all the women in the rural areas, they put a lot of effort, they produce a lot of milk, and all the milk they sell to the market. And they don't consume the milk themselves. As a result, they are totally iron deficient, and they go to the doctor and they will give multivitamin tablets, and they spend money on tablets. This is the tragedy. And the same thing should not happen with millets. I think we must keep that in the back of our mind. And many of the NGOs, the way they are collecting the local germplasm and all that in a good effort, and Madam has said very nicely, I think this can go as a recommendation that this informal seed system, how to mainstream that. I think that's the seed science, your institute, the society itself, if they can bring out a position paper on this, how to do it, the technical point, legal, seed bill, all that considering, and if you can bring out a policy or a white paper, which can be a guide document to the Joint Secretary Seeds, Mr. Ashwini Kumar, or whoever is sitting in that seat. Otherwise, they are clueless. NGOs are putting pressure on the Joint Secretary. He says, ICR ka koi guideline nahi hai. So everybody is groping in the dark. So if some very good document can come, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, how to go about, bringing the informal seed into the mainstream, I think that will be a big contribution of this Congress if you can do that. I think with that, I close my comments, and thanks the organizers for this wonderful opportunity, and to all of you for patiently listening and providing your excellent feedback. And although it is almost 7, you were able to sit through and then actively participate in the deliberation. Thank you very much.
Sir, thank you for conducting the session. Now I request Dr. Vaskar sir to present a memento to our panelist, Dr. J. C. Rana sir. Now also request Dr. Vaskar sir to present a memento to the convener Sri Swaminathan, RA Network. Also request Vaskar sir to present a memento to Dr. Suresh Kumar, Bayer Crop Sciences. Then also request Dr. Vaskar sir to present memento to Krishna Prasad ji, Director Sahaja Samruddhi, Bangalore. And I am so thankful to the Dr. Sharmila Oswal, or online? I also request Dr. Vasantrao to present a moment to the rapporteur, Dr. Zawle sahib, and myself, Dr. S.B. Pawar. I am on the behalf of organizer. I am thanks to the chairman sir, Dr. Venkatesh sir, Dr. S. Patil sahab, Dr. Tonapi sahab, all the panelists and reporter. Now there is an announcement. There is a tea break for 10 minutes, and after that, after the tea break, all the members of the society are kindly requested to assemble this hall for general body meeting of Indian Society of Seed Technology. Thank you, sir.